I'm Morgan from Pack Hacker, and in this video we're taking a look at the ORTLIEB Velocity Waterproof Backpack 17 liter, which I've been testing for 2 weeks. If you find this video helpful, hit subscribe so that we can continue making content that helps you travel smarter. Let's jump in. So the external materials are incredibly durable. This waterproof backpack is IP64 rated, which basically means that especially when it's closed, it can protect your gear from dust as well as light rain. It's not necessarily rated for like heavy downpours for extended periods of time, but if you get caught out in like a shower really quickly or a light exposure, should be good. It's also like important to note that it says waterproof, but that means that it's not like submergible. So it's kind of more like weatherproof. As you can see, there are like two different materials. This shinier material is a PU laminated polyester, and it has like a glossy finish and kind of feels like a tarp. And then on the sides and the bottom, it is a PS620C fabric, which is also durable, but just a little bit more fabric-like, I would say. The side and the bottom, the fabric-like material does pick up hair really easily. Just setting this down on like a blanket that is frequently home to a cat resulted in a nice little coating of cat hair, which is always fun. And I'm still kind of picking off the hair, but it is somewhat easy to like brush off. Not really an issue with the P laminated one, but on the sides, it does take like a little bit more effort to really get all of the hair off, so that's just something to keep in mind if you have pets. The front is pretty minimalistic with like the face just kind of promoting the Velocity 17 style. It also comes in a 23 liter and a 29 liter. And then it also has their branding and logo right here. This is reflective, so that's really nice and is especially ideal for if you commute or if you cycle, just a little bit of extra visibility there. And then aside from that, it's pretty minimalistic. Underneath here, you can hook on a helmet or a bike light, which is also a nice feature as well, but that's really like the only attachment points on this bag. The only grab handle here is on the top, and it connects to the top of the shoulder straps. It's just a simple nylon webbing. It will do in a pinch. It's not the most comfortable, but still very easy to use. The shoulder straps have a nice ergonomic shape to them, as well as reflective stitching into the sternum strap, which I'll get into in a second. On the other side, you can kind of see it's got like this really dense mesh padding, which kind of helps with visibility. And then the shoulder straps themselves have like a nice wide design, which kind of helps disperse the weight. Then, as you can also see, this back panel is pretty dense foam. It feels very, very stiff, and it has like a built-in air channel to help with breathability, which is also nice, especially considering the type. This fabric is that PU laminated, which means that if it was sitting up against your back, it might get a little warm. And then on the shoulder straps, there is a sternum strap that is completely removable. It uses a plastic buckle basically, and it hooks in to either side with a couple different points. So it is a little difficult to connect, and so once you do, I definitely recommend you leave it there. Otherwise, can be a little bit of a pain. And so it connects with just like a simple plastic buckle right here. And then, right here, this is how you unhook it. And it's very secure, very tight, but you have to basically try and weave it underneath to remove it entirely. And so as you can kind of see, it is very secure. And then I struggled a little bit with trying to get it underneath because like of this hook. And so just to remove it up and down can be, like I said, a little challenging. but it has like this elastic which kind of helps secure it in place, especially like if you tighten it to like a comfortable degree, the elastic just kind of helps ensure that it doesn't bounce around a little bit. And then there's also a removable hip belt with a plastic buckle in the center, and you can remove it entirely by just feeding the end through here if you don't use it. But it's really nice if you are like a cyclist. It kind of just gives you another extra level of security so that it doesn't like move around too much in high motion activities. So this is what it looks like on. It has a pretty minimal form factor. The shoulder straps are really comfortable, and with the sternum strap and the hip belt, it really just helps lock it into place, especially on your back, which, like I mentioned, is really good for high motion activities, especially like cycling. The shoulder straps also have like a little built-in strap keeper where they're literally just permanently attached to the strap. So it just kind of keeps everything neat and organized. So on this specific sized backpack, there are no secondary compartments. This is the 17 liter. It also comes in 23 liter and 29 liter. The 29 liter does have a side zippered pocket, I believe, on this side right here. So something to keep in mind. But apart from that, it's basically just the main compartment where all of the storage and organization is focused. And so the main compartment has a roll top design, and as you can see here, it uses hook and loop closure, and it has like a nice amount of space so that you can really fit in a nice amount of gear as well. And so you can roll it all the way down. And so especially to keep the IP64 rating and make sure that nothing inside gets wet, especially if you get caught in the rain, they recommend that you roll the top down at least 3 to 4 times. And so at the top here, there's a plastic lid, which kind of just, a plastic lip that kind of just helps make sure that the entirety of like the opening is nice and sealed. That way, once you start rolling down, it provides as secure of a closure as possible. But inside is basically just like a nice spacious main compartment, as you can see here. And it does have a dedicated laptop sleeve. And so here inside, I have a tech pouch, a jacket, and a water bottle. So as you can see, just a nice spacious main compartment there. And then the laptop sleeve does have hook and loop closure at the top, and it allows you to secure the sleeve to the back panel so that it sits elevated. That way, if you drop it on the floor or you set it down, it doesn't, the laptop doesn't impact the ground. And so once you get it out, it can fit up to a 16-inch device, and it has a zippered pocket on the front, which is nice for little accessories. Like I have a field notes book, a pen, and a pair of headphones. There it is. And the sleeve itself is nicely padded. I have a 16-inch MacBook Pro in here. It has a dense foam padding on the front, the back, and the sides, which is nice for added protection. And so this is where it connects to the bottom and the top to lock it in place. That way it doesn't move around too much. So there you have it, the ORTLIEB Velocity Waterproof Backpack 17 liter. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel. We'll see you in the next video.